Alright, and we are going to see how this game goes for us. So, you know, there is actually the Moonshiners TV show on Discovery. And this was originally meant to be the licensed game for that, but what happened then was that they gave up the license because apparently they were of the opinion that Discovery was micromanaging the overall process and design too much, so they actually gave their license back, so it's now only Moonshine Incorporated. So practically the game was supposed to be based on the Discovery series, the Moonshiners, but then they apparently did not totally agree on principle and got rid of the license, so it's not a licensed game, but it's still about making moonshine, transporting it, selling it, and hopefully not getting caught by the police. So surprise game, because didn't really feel like anno 1800, and I found out today that this game exists, so of course let's try it out. Should be interesting. Oh, hello there, Jax. Good to have you here. It's been a bit since I've really seen you joining the stream, so great to have you here once again. So let's move towards the game and start a new campaign and see where we end up. So there we go, and it also insists on drawing on some wide resolution, but it's better than Darkest Dungeon that had really narrow image. So let's then yeah, that's sometimes true. Also have started actually earlier quite a few times lately, especially when it was Easter time, actually even had daytime streams, so it varies, but yes. Let's see. So let's see about the. So yes, nothing illegal till you get caught. That's usually the case, and we have suspiciously much money for when you consider the kind of business with Moonshine. Like you have bundles of cars, which consider slightly unrealistic for this kind of business. But sure, let's start with new campaign. Alright, and let's see. Intro. Alright, so go to big city.
You finally decide to leave
and
for yourself in the
how
city.
well that goes. Of course, considering the theme of the game, most probably not well.
The city's not a friendly place. Finally, you find
Alright, it's kind of good start. Go for the mob controlled pub.
Sure, but you meet people, you learn things. You remember your big dreams and start a business with like-minded friends. Still, your actions don't go unnoticed. All it takes is one tip from your ex-employers.
Alright, and then police found something. Uncertain whether it was the moonshine or maybe something else in the jars, as we may remember from another computer game earlier on, that the jars may have contained also other items.
You pack your bags and return
And
home
then
to the
back to the
mountains.
countryside it is, clearly.
It's not all that bad. With the help of your great uncle and the best little sister in the world.
And we also have the old timer, of course, so.
Moonshine. Ready to chase some big dreams again.
Clearly the only business choice, of course, left in the country was moonshining, apparently. So, first chapter, we again have the Mr. Old Timer and some distillation equipment. Time to play Moonshine Inc. It certainly is. So, let's then start the first chapter proper. So, let's then see. So, Family Mountains, and here's your grandpa's, my brother's old moonshining base. No one's used it since forever, but maybe it'll be of some use to you, and you have a lot to learn. Sir, Mr. Old Timer, and we do even have only a single red light in the police alert. If we have like 20,000 money, would think we should be doing something else, but so. And next. Still, as you can see, the whole thing's in a sorry state. We should check to see what's what. Alright. What building then? This is. Use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Alright, it zooms in the kind of like 3D view. Let's talk about Moonshine. Alright, press the storage button. Certainly pressing it, but not much isn't happening. It is probably mildly buggy because it allows you to press the receive button, but it doesn't allow you to press the storage button, which is flashing. Really? would like to not skip the tutorial, but and now we can push it. Let's see if we return to main menu and start again. Is it like every time that it pushes the wrong button? Let's see. Alright, it has kind of futuristic style to it. It's a very nice bodysuit also.
Big enough for you.
Let's also greet you on the big screen,
To leave and make a name for
because
yourself
the
in
game
city.
seems to be
But it's not that
cooperating
easy,
kind of
is it?
poorly.
Work's hard to come
Oh
by.
well,
The city's not a friendly place.
good to have you here, even if you
Finally,
joined
we
for a
found job
while.
in a mob-controlled pub. Not a dream come true, sure, but you meet people, you learn things. You remember your big dreams and start a business with like-minded friends.
So there we go, nice that you
Your
could
actions
make it.
don't go
Make it,
unnoticed.
Sanchi, and certainly it's quite nice.
All it takes is
A
one
bit
tip from your
futuristic
ex-employees,
design
and it all
design
goes
to
down
it.
the drain. A police raid. The business is over.
So, let's see if it still works any
You are
better.
out of town.
We have now
Unfortunately,
more or less seen the intro, so let's try again. Yes, Mr. Old Timer. So let's try all the functions again. Yep, the tutorial is bugged. Really. Let's see if we change like something not necessarily meaningful, like controls. Other interesting tricks, change resolution and see if that, yes, really, change resolution. That was good way to resolve the bug. It seems we have less than a hill of spoiled beans. No matter, we can always go to the store and buy us some ingredients. Here, let me show you on the map where the store's at. This is the map. I'll tell you more about it later, but for now let's check out the store. They have good offers. Sometimes. Alright.
Can I help you?
Demerara sugar. Well, there's not a lot to look at today, but it'll do. Let's buy ourselves some Demerara sugar. We are fixing to need more than this. 50 kilograms should be enough. Add 50 kilograms to the cart. Let's pay and skedaddle. Press buy. Now that the shopping's done, let's figure out what equipment we gonna be needing for this back to base. The place is pretty empty, to be fair, but there should be a fermentation tank in storage. You can access it directly from the fast apparatus placement window. Alright, let's now try if we change the resolution back, because that should give a slightly more sizable image, because this is in any case like has some design issues. Yeah, that gives different image scaling. Let's see if that now works. Alright, it doesn't. It's kind of like really crazily done in that respect. It draws at a resolution where the outlines for the allowable tutorial buttons go in the wrong positions. So apparatus fast placement. Medium sized barrel. Alright, it's both durable and clean. It's a barrel that's medium sized. What else is there to say? It gets the job done though. Sir. Ah, the right fine smell of fermentation tank. What a delight. Thanks to this here thing we can transform sugar into alcohol. Now we should hire someone to help us. Your poor Krungle is so very old after all and thirsty, but I digress. Mr. Oldtimer would clearly like a drink, yeah. Visit worker headquarters or HQ. It's one of your base's buildings. Open recruitment tab. Well, not a huge turnout at all rookies, but I reckon that makes sense. None of the folks in the area know you yet, but this guy seems like a good sort. Little wet behind the ears, but he'll learn fast. Alright, Mr. Austin. Lazy. Reduced movement speed sounds like the right kind of moonshiner. Yep. Send offer. Shouldn't we put less, maybe? No, it's just once. Let's recruit a second worker so we have enough hands to start. You can try to negotiate, but remember the worker might be insulted if the offer is too low. Energetic, slow learner. This guy has least requirement, but he's also lazy. Let's try Mr. Energetic and of a lower salary. There we go. Alright, he was quite pleased. Workers have traits which might be good or bad. When I was younger, I had all the good traits. Yeah, old timer. And the bad ones. Depends on who you ask. Yeah. Each time your workers be doing a task, they gain experience. It can be used to promote them to a specialization, and each specialization gives a bonus to different types of tasks. So specialize the heck out of them. Yep. Perfect. Now that you got yourself a crew, we can start shining. But first, let's make sure everything is in place in the base. Let's check the workshop to craft what we need. You can access all the apparatus in the base and see their status and condition. Here in the workshop you can access all the apparatus in the base and see their status and condition, but right now we need a new apparatus. Open crafting tab. In the crafting tab you can create different apparatuses for alcohol production. For now we need a distillation pot. During your adventure, your business endeavor, that is, you will have access to lots of stills that will differ by capacity, material and so on. But for now let's stick to the basic 200 liter still. That sounds quite big still. Like 200 liters, sir. Alright, let's then see about your ABCs, and then it usually takes a bit but not too long, so don't worry about nothing. Create. Let's go to the base to see where we can install this. Workers, check. Ingredients, check. Beautiful fermentation tank, check. Yeah, the blue plastic barrel. We forgot about the distillation still, kid. Place the distillation apparatus in the proper area. The most basic distillation contraption, as long as you're not too ambitious, you'll be fine. So there's our distillation apparatus and there's our fermentation barrel. Let's go to the batch hub and plan production. Batch creator, alright, batch of moonshine you say. So, here you'll find the list of your batches. They're good looking for cooking. From here you can also access and set up different steps of production. Let's start a new batch. This game is quite technical. Let's set everything up. In this here place you can create a blueprint for the whole process. Choose the alcohol, ingredients and apparatuses. The only restriction, you have to match an existing recipe. You know some of them, but others will need to be discovered. First off, let's choose one ingredient. How about powdered sugar? Sounds so exotic. Since that's done, we need somewhere to ferment the stuff. We do have a fermentation tank, right? Yeasts are divided into categories. They allow you to craft recipes by altering the potency of your ingredients' flavors. Those in the first category, called simple, are not very potent. You'll get access to stronger ones later on. The flavor chart changes when you add ingredients. Each ingredient has its own flavor and effect on the chart. You need to match the flavor of a recipe to be able to make it. So currently our thing is mostly accurate. Sounds very tasty. For now we don't have a match, but little birdie told me if we add demerara we'll get much closer to the recipe. When you have a recipe in the flavor chart, you can select it in order to lock it. Then if you make any modifications, the flavor target will be retained. Rot gut sounds really like desirable. As you can see, we have match, but it ain't too accurate. Balance the quantity of the ingredients to make it a 100% match. That's right, perfect. All matching and ready for batching. Yeah, we need just to add distillation apparatus and we are all set. Bottling, final step. You young ones grow up so fast. From what I can see, you've made the rotgut recipe. Start production and let's continue. Somehow rotgut doesn't sound very desirable a drink. There we go. And now it's time to set up the fermentation process. Really, have to say that the game is somewhat involved. Hello there, Briareus. Let's greet you properly. So, hello there, and indeed, this time we make the Moonshine. This game actually originally had Discovery Channel license, but they gave it up, so now it's only like Moonshine Incorporated instead of Moonshiners the game, but and in any case, we make the Moonshine, and it's surprisingly involved technically. I have to say that it's not like simple that you just put things in and it becomes Moonshine. It's actually very technical when you look at all the parameters that the game actually includes. So, let's continue. And good to have you here, Briareus. Always appreciate your support of the stream also. So, let's see how our Moonshine continues. So, let's see. This is the fermentation window where you'll plan first step of production. You have to set the temperature, quantity, mixing, timing, everything. Yes, Mr. Old Timer. The fermentation diagram summarizes the whole process, the ingredients and equipment that you chose. The more complex the recipe, the more you'll see here. You can view the apparatus that you use for the fermentation process. Its durability affects the efficiency of production. The lower the apparatus durability, the bigger the chance that you lose the product. Cleanliness is also crucial if you want to avoid introducing unwanted flavors into your tank. A 100% flavor match will ensure you avoid any unpleasant surprises. Here we chose the yeast that will be thrown into the tank. Remember that each yeast has different requirements and will yield different results. Let's start with the balanced option, simple power. A simple type of yeast that's still capable of creating really strong drinks. Yeast has different temperature and sugar requirements, meaning that reduces the risk of additional flavors appearing. Now we have to fill the tank by adding mass and water. Be careful with the quantity of sugar you add, because too much will overwhelm the yeast and kill it. Alright. Fill the tank with 190 liters and reach 17 to 22 sugar. Later on you'll be able to unlock tech that will allow you to modify the temperature for optimal fermentation to avoid additional flavors. Here we have the fermentation timeline. You can choose when you want to stop the process. At some points additional flavors might appear which are presented by colored bubbles. Try to reduce the time to 20 hours and avoid an excess of additional flavors. Try to reduce to 20 hours and avoid too much additional flavor. Now that's everything all fine and dandy, you can start the fermentation process. The worker will fill the tank and the process will begin. You can see your workers bringing water and mass to the tank, hard working little beasts that they be. Fermentation is a long process though, how about we speed up time? You have 3 different speed settings. In the meantime I'll show you the recipe book and the recipe map. Welcome to the recipe map. This is where the unlockable recipes are gonna be. There are 4 types of spirit: moonshine, brandy, whiskey and vodka, and 3 complexities: cheap, fine and premium. For now, you don't know a ton of recipes, but let me tell you how to discover more. Each recipe has a radius which will expand depending on the quality that you achieve when making a batch. When the radius hits another recipe, you'll get a hint about it. Each hint brings you closer to finding a new liquor. It's your God-given duty to discover every recipe and make a premium quality to honor your ancestors, or at least honor my wish to try each one. Yeah, Mr. Old-Timer. Now let's check out your recipes. Press Moonshine. This is the recipe you discovered when you did the last batch. You can see all the different elements, the main ingredients, the flavor chart, the ethanol percentage and so on. When you don't know everything about this is how it looks. Each hint reveals a little something. Each alcohol type has its own tab, and with time you'll discover everything. Now that the fermentation is done, we can start distillation. Let's head back to the batch hub. Here we go, second step of alcohol making. Let's set this thing up. Alright, that's not very simple either. So let's then see about distillation. Is a subtractive step. Each jar contains a fraction of the final product, both in terms of flavor and ethanol value. Selecting the ones you want to keep and the ones you want to discard will let you find balance between expected flavors and ethanol content. In the settings for the distillation process, you can control the flame rate and the char. These affect speed of production and the quantity and quality of your product. Let's set the flame higher in order to speed up the process. Now let's specify which jars you want to get rid or to keep in order to achieve the desired outcome. The recipe requires 20% ethanol in the end product, so let's have between 20 and 30 here to give ourselves a bit of leeway. Well, everything seems to be in order. Let's do this. Let's take a look at how things are going at the base. While the distillation is all distilling, I can tell you a little about notifications. They'll tell you everything that happens in your base, so you'll be updated and informed on what's what, how and why. Now that the distillation is all done, we can bottle the product. Let's open the batch hub again to check on our production line. Yep, this is it. The last step of alcohol making. Let's bottle up the sucker. This is the final point when you can modify things, fortify or dilute the product and set the price. Once it's bottled, it's done. The same goes for fortifying the alcohol, but what you can do now is dilute it. That will help you meet the ethanol requirement and it will increase the volume of the product, but be careful, too much water will decrease the quality. The quality of the product is influenced by several parameters: the flavor match, the ethanol content in the recipe, and quality of your apparatuses. Later on, other parameters will also influence the quality, like the skills of your workers or the blending of your jars. Pricing is obviously an important part of the process because we want Benjamins, but don't be too greedy. We need the customers to actually buy our product. Consider the quality price ratio. You can see the mastery points you will receive for this recipe. Mastery points are used to unlock new tech. Each time you raise the quality of a recipe, you will gain more MP. And finally, you can name our product. It's your first brew, so how your crunkle, how creative you can be. Considering it's the first thing we ever made in terms of moonshine and it's supposed to be sold, we'll name it Barely Drinkable. Press let's bottle it. Your first batch is done. Now you can archive it. This way you'll be able to recreate it exactly in the future from the archive tab. But for now, let's close this window. Well, having moonshine is all fine and dandy, sure, but having money is even better. Your product has to be delivered to thirsty clients. Luckily, you have just means for that. Just remember, always be careful when making your rounds. Oh, happy birthday, hearing that you leveled up. we do not unfortunately have Discord, have not yet started one, and do not intend unless it's very desired, because it also requires effort to maintain, so... but indeed, greetings to you and welcome to the stream, so let's of course also greet you a bit. Thank you for joining, and hopefully you are happy to follow also Fursuit Gaming most of the time when have time for it, so and yes, we made some moonshine, now we need to sell it. Hopefully you will do well, Jax. Unsure which one you may be, but sir, we'll check. In any case, X is not working very well after Mr. Musk bought it, so let's see about the moonshine. Let's check delivery window now and finish preparing the delivery. In this here little window you can set up details for your delivery. Remember, that's how you build your reputation. Here you can choose the driver. Right now he's already selected by default, but you might have a specialist driver in the future who would be a better choice. Now let's take a look at the car. You don't own one, but you can borrow my old jalopy. In the future you'll be able to have more cars. You'll see that every car has its own stats. For the cargo, let's choose the spirit you just prepared, and so skillfully too, thanks to yours truly. Barely drinkable. Go back to the delivery window to finalize the operation. Under bridge sounds like a good place. Old shack. Now let's start delivery. Alright, and there the delivery goes. By the way, you can always take a look at a given hotspot to see how well your dealing going. Each hotspot has different client preferences, so try to meet them for optimal dealings. Meanwhile, the alert level shows the risk of police raid on your stars. Each time you sell something, the risk increases, but more clients means more money. Storage shows you the batch you delivered and how well it has sold. You can also change its price. Each batch has wariness codes. If it's too high, sales will drop, but if the liquor isn't sold for some time, that wariness codes will decrease. This is a graph with details on transactions, customers and revenue. You can see the mission in the top left. You can pin or unpin the missions you want to display here. This makes it easier to follow your progress. Oh, and there's a mission right here. A poor soul in desperate need of our help. Alright, there it is. Alright, going to also correct something shortly, so hiding oneself for a moment here, and we'll be back in a Alright, and there we go. We have about still half an hour left, so let's continue with the game and see about so let's take a look at the missions log. It'll help you keep track of all the missions you so bravely accepted. They're divided into main story missions and secondary missions, which you can find on the map. All your past missions are found in the archive. Select Test Your Mantle mission. Seems like we got ourselves a mission. We have to make moonshine with agave syrup and corn syrup. Let's do this. I have some of them syrups around here, but next time you'll have to buy your ingredients in the store. The local pastor! Yes, Mr. Holyman. It's not easy being the holiest person around. Maybe something to lift his spirits would help, or some spirits to lift him. A drink from agave or corn syrup sounds so swell. Yeah, very probable that the local pastor orders some moonshine. I've already mentioned the different tech and skills you get to unlock. Since you have some mastery points, let's check out the technology tree. The tree is divided into two tabs, one for fermentation, the other for distillation. You don't have enough points to unlock all the technologies, but I think this one will do for now. Mashing unlocks a mash tun, a pre-fermentation apparatus for processing complex sugars. I think the apparatus from our past batch is a little dirty and maybe slightly damaged. We did push pretty hard, let's see. 91, 92. Yup, dirty and damaged, just like, well, never mind woo. Let's just clean up the sucker and then it's fine for next batch. A dirty apparatus is bad for the product. There we go. Next we need some mashing equipment to turn the agave and corn syrup into something usable. We call this pre-fermentation. Yeah, it's a bit ironic to agree. The local pastor would like some moonshine. Select old cauldron. Yeah, that looks like the most convincing. And now that your worker has finished cleaning the other apparatus, he can begin building a new one. Tons of work, sure, but that's what you pay him for. Craft the apparatus. Old cauldron. Looks high-end, very technical. Like the classic days. Fire, burn and cauldron bubble, that's about it. When the apparatus is ready, place it somewhere in the base. There we go. Let's make a new patch. So, let's see then about the next patch, Moonshine. So, poor man's tequila sounds very desirable. There we go, and then we use simply yeast and distill with our apparatus. Now we want to match the recipe, so there we go, 100% match. There we go, and now we can set up fermentation. Let's take a look back at the base one last time. Now, one last word of advice. Be wary of the police. Our activities are far from legal. As sad as that is, the top bar shows how interested in you the police are. Trouble on the road and too many transactions in one hotspot will increase it. If you reach the end of the police alert bar, your base will be raided, and that means game over. And that's it. I love finishing on a happy note. Now go and make your grungle proud. And if you need anything, just check the Book of Moonshine to see all of the knowledge I can pass on to you, and that's all. And what grungle means is that you know very basics of moonshining. There's so much more to this specific kind of work. Well, back in my day, back in your day, people didn't brush their teeth, voted Nixon and prayed to the moon. Yep. How dare you, young lady? There ain't nothing wrong with respecting the moon. We once are working in his shine after all. What about Nixon, Mr. Oldtimer? Either way, I think it'll be best if my little older bro produced some more liquor to hone his skill. Crumble, I suppose. Alright, let's see how our patch is going. So, set up fermentation. We should most probably ferment up to when we pick like a bit of extra flavor. Maximum sugar 18. Optimal sugar 17, so let's hit the optimal sugar. Let's ferment a bit more, so we get. There we go. And indeed, this is how we make the moonshine. Now we can again speed up a bit, and we have the workers going around for pre-fermentation and so on. So now we have still some time left to ferment that. Alright, set up distillation. Needs 30% ethanol. We should clearly throw some of the tails out, like really. More fire, and then if we leave still like it matches more with more sauce, but it's kind of also, it's not going to be very strong, so it's kind of like whether this still slower or faster. This isn't simple at all, like really. Because needs 30% ethanol, and then we get best flavor match by giving all the sauce. So if we go for this kind of distillation, so leave the very tails out. And then we wait for it to be distilled. Oh, good night, Santi. Let's also wish you a good night on the main screen, and we are still continuing for about 20 minutes here. So thank you for joining, and hopefully you once again enjoyed Mordrude, this time with some moonshine making, and good night and be well. Thank you for joining. So, let's return to the game and see about... Alright, good night for you also, Priorius, and thanks for joining. Now it's time to battle. And of course we shall make sure to we have to match the eternal requirements, so let's lower the price a bit, because we are not going to hit the eternal requirements. And let's name it weak in spirit, because A, it's not 30%, and B, our good less than reliable priest will drink it. So let's battle it. And now we need to deliver it to the priest, so do you think we were supposed to deliver 20 liters? Alright, and there we go. Hopefully no cops on the way to the reliable village priest. You're right, as long as you do not distill it. So, let's speed it up a bit, because it moves quite slowly. There we go, and Alright, and he wanted 40 liters, so let's do another delivery. $40 liters is a lot of moonshine, have to say. Just as always, we did it like Empros. Office party. Alright, that sounds very good also. Miles Toombs is organizing an office party for one of his companies, but he sure as heck ain't going to pay too much for the alcohol, so he decides to purchase it from some poor moonshining schmucks, as he describes it. That's you. Toombs may be an asshole, but he's a rich asshole. It's easy money. Alright, Mr. Toombs, why you are not buying legal? So let's see about what we can produce for him, and alright, we only have 11 liters and they wanted 20. Where would Mr. Rich Guy then be? He's here. And in general you just need alcohol with 25 to 45% alcohol, so mostly make it strong enough. Let's also save game. There we go. Save slot 0. Yeah, there are. Have even known some at time or another, so yes, there certainly are. So let's try and see about the office party. So we most probably need something a bit stronger, so let's try the Demerara sugar with corn syrup. This doesn't affect much for that, so let's remove it. %, match. Fair enough, let's try that. quite short fermentation. 2% ethanol. Maximum sugar, and we are still getting like only 13% ethanol, but that starts to be a bit better. So let's try for 81%, and if, of course this before distillation, so let's try a bit stronger, because it needs to be strong for Mr. Office Party, so let's go with that. Long fermentation, 2 days, so how have the viewers enjoyed the game? Shall we keep this in schedule? Let's see how our longer fermentation time works. So there it is fermenting. Alright, should be soon fermented. So let's set up distillation. %, so it starts to be a bit stronger. Let's see how we would do with like faster distillation. Looks worse, so let's do. That would be the best match we can get. 32%, so let's distill. Let's make this patch and see if we can sell that for the office party. And let's name it accordingly. As Mr. Cheap Guy, so let's name it of Cheap Supply. And let's paddle it. Quality will be exactly 50%. "43 liters. How much we need it to deliver? 45 liters. So we need to stretch it a little. There we go, exactly 45 liters. There we go, and let's deliver it. Alright, and there we go. Ah, hello there, Kamu. You arrived right at the tail end of the stream, but we are making moonshine and selling it. Nice, let's hope that those partygoers have a good time and that their boss leaves them alone. Now we should deliver Bowman's tequila for the other like local clergyman. We need more corn and agave syrups to make that, so... Let's go to the store and buy $25 kilograms of agave syrup and 25 kilograms of corn syrup. Now let's make it 30 Do you think that should be enough for
Will do.
small bats? And then create new bats, not like totally new, let's repeat. Recreate the poor man's tequila. There we go, so it automatically produces the same product again. So let's sell that to complete the final mission on the list now and then finish for the night and see who will raid, but first we finish this. There we go, it's fermenting and then do you think it's automatically distilled next? Yes. Yes, there we go. So it automatically produces the same product in this case. Yeah. And it's completed, so let's deliver. We apparently have a car problem. Funker. Repair. Alright. Alright, let's fix the car first. Unsurprisingly, if it's 1951, doesn't surprise one, the car may need some repair. How's Camu been doing? There we go, now it's been hopefully fixed. Yes. And there we go, very short delivery, just a bit by the side road. Roadside wise man, some old man waves at your driver needing help. Help with what? Lighting up an old cigarette, but the man seems very wise. Maybe your driver should talk to him for a while. Have the driver listen. Old man's wisdom. Nice, it's almost like you were born to make moonshine, like our whole family. There we go. Alright, and we are up to 1.5 hours, so do you think that we save the game here? There we go. And switch to the main screen, and let's first of all thank you all for joining. We had great viewership tonight, so Mordrude is also very happy. And then of course wish you pleasant rest of the night. So Mordrude certainly enjoyed making some moonshine and will play this also again. So thank you all for watching and be well. Now let's see who we will raid. Oh. Let's see who we will raid and go for that. So who's doing what? Sats is playing something, Kuveps is playing Morrowind. Argonoid Addict is playing Star Force. Kane is playing Construction Simulator. Let's see that. Simulator should be interesting, so let's raid Kane. Kane Wolf, it's been a while. There we go. And thank you all for joining. Be well and wish you a good night for now. See you tomorrow for more stream. We should be doing also tomorrow night some gaming, so be well, and Mordrude, thank you for joining. Oh. Here we go.